my apprenticeship is 4 years long. In that we do a degree as well, which is 3 to 4 years as well. And after we graduate, we can come out in a position that's decided by us, along with heads of profession and our line managers. And that position can be anywhere from project support, assistant cost engineer, assistant planner. You can even go into risk. Anything you want that you've experienced on placement, you can do. So you can go anywhere you want really with this apprenticeship and use the degree anywhere in the world. So it's great, yeah. I did consider university. I went to some open days and things like that, but university just wasn't for me. Didn't want to move away from home. So the fact that I could do an apprenticeship that also had a degree and be at home was great for me. I really liked that fact, yeah. The thing I enjoy the most about my job is how different it is every day. So there's no 2 days the same. You see something different every day. There's a new challenge, a new idea, something else you've got to deal with every day. And the experience that you get from that is really, really good. The advice I would give my younger self would be to keep your options open, not just the fact of getting everything that you can out there, but to get the experience of applying to things, interview process, application process, anything like that. It's definitely good to keep your options open. And as well, although if you don't consider uni, definitely apply, because again, it's the experience that you get from that, yeah. In 5 to 10 years' time, I'm expecting to maybe be a sub-project manager, so being responsible for my own pieces of work rather than working alongside people, and possibly progressing to a project manager. Where that'll be, I'm not too sure, but I'm really looking forward to what it'll bring.
So the original plan was an apprenticeship. I never wanted to move away, but I applied for uni anyways because I thought I might as well. You know, like you're in sixth form, you don't know what can happen, like your mind changes all the time. So the route that I went down now, I think was a lot better for me, because going to university, I've seen my friends go to university now obviously, and I'm still at home, and I just don't know if that would have been the right thing for me to do. I've definitely made the right decision by staying at home and doing an apprenticeship. So by actually learning while you're doing your job was so much like more suited to me. I would tell myself not to worry as much, because I think especially in sixth form, there's not a lot of pressure put on you, but there's a lot of pressure in the terms of you need to decide what your next steps are, which you do, but I think everything ends up being alright, and that's what everybody needs to understand. Like, you worry and you're scared about what the future's going to hold, but it'll all end up okay in the end. It always does, so yeah. I think my parents influenced me to a certain extent. They were always really supportive in me wanting to do what I felt comfortable with. They were really keen on me doing my A-levels, but not in like a keen as in a pushing way, as in like my sister had went and done them and saw what she got out of it, so they were really encouraging for me to go and do mine. When it got towards the end of sixth form and I got my A-level results, and they weren't as good as what I wanted. I didn't do very well in physics, but they were really supportive when I was in that like panic after my A-levels. There was about a 2-week window before I actually got my job after my A-levels. It was kind of like a last minute thing, and they were really supportive during that time, because it was really hard because you were unsure of what was going to happen, but they did remind me that everything was going to be all right. And And now in my job, they're really supportive of what I do, and they're just happy that I'm happy at the minute. Yeah. I never saw myself doing a degree in mechanical engineering. I never thought I would be able to get to that stage, but now it just seems like it's completely possible and achievable, especially like through work, and I'm confident in myself at work now. So hopefully progressing a lot through work is really what I want to do. I hopefully will have progressed and be one of a, well, hopefully a more senior engineer by then.
So I finished my bachelor's degree in molecular biology at University of Cumbria, and then I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I seen an advert on the telly advertising a master's degree at Westlake Science Park with UCLan, and I thought I might as well go for it. So I did. So I'm currently in the process of doing a 2 years master's course, and at the end of that there'll be an internship where I rotate through GP and hospital placements while I get paid. Sort of like an apprenticeship. So I had a family quite young. I had my daughter when I was 19, so and I got married at 19 as well. So for me, I needed to be somewhere where I could commute, so I could make it work together. So I used to take my daughter into university with me and actually sit and breastfeed her. So I had quite an odd university experience. I really wanted to make family life and education work together, which I think as a modern day woman you really can do that now. So when I was younger, about GCSE age, A-level age, I had no idea. I honestly had no idea what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to work in health or science, but I wasn't really sure. I think it was only in the past year I've really decided what I want to do. So for me, I sort of just went with what I liked and sort of done my A-levels in that, and then my degree, I just picked something that I found interesting, and then it just sort of went from there, yeah. So to become a physician associate, you need to have a relevant science qualification, preferably a degree, because it is a postgraduate qualification. It's a 2-year master's, really focusing on clinical skills, anatomy and physiology. It's very, very intense, but it's definitely worth it. I would really encourage people to think about it as a future career, especially if they would know they want to work in health, but they don't necessarily want to apply to medical school, because it does give you more freedom as a career than being a doctor. And especially around here, if you want to stay around here, it's a really good option because there is a local campus. But hopefully in 5 years, I'm practicing medicine, maybe in obs and gynae, delivering babies, or maybe in A&E. There's such a choice out there. I'm just going to go into all my rotations with an open mind and see what grabs me.
So through sixth form I did my A-levels in engineering, IT and applied science. Then following them I did the aptitude test and application process for Gen 2 and did a technical specialist apprenticeship with a local engineering firm called TSP Engineering, and then following completion of that moved on to the degree scheme with Sellafield Limited. So I had a really big group of friends going through school. There was about 15, 16 of us. There was only 2 of them that ended up going to uni. They've both had a really good time. They've both just graduated with the master's degree in chemical engineering, one at Manchester, one at Newcastle. Both absolutely loved it, but the rest of us who've all done apprenticeships are equally happy with where we are now. Yeah, so right through school I did originally want to go to university. No one in my family's ever been to university, and I did think I was going to go, but as soon as I realised how long it was going to take, how much it was going to cost, and I realised the opportunities that are in the local area, that's what pushed me down the apprenticeship route. So if I could go back, I would definitely push myself a little bit more, really try and get involved and put the work in. I did work quite hard through school, but just that extra little 1 or 5% would definitely make the difference. So not just in school, but out of school with hobbies, work experience, extracurricular activities, just to set yourself apart, because it's getting like tougher and tougher. So having like them little extra bits that you can talk about in an interview would really help, yeah. So for the degree, we do a day release through to Carlisle at University of Cumbria, and we do 3 semesters right through the year with written assignments and exam work. And then to move on to additional qualifications, it may be that university can support. So for example, the master's degree, there's currently people go to Manchester on distance learning or Lancaster on day release again, so it all just depends on the circumstances. So eventually, I want to complete my apprenticeship and gain my bachelor's degree in project management, and then hopefully move on to my master's degree, which will be another additional top-up, which hopefully will be funded by the company. And then further to that, just carry on learning, progressing, and then hopefully become a chartered project manager one day.
I thought quite a lot about going to university actually, but in the end it just wasn't the right option for me. I actually did a summer school at Newcastle, and I didn't actually ever expect to feel homesick, but being in that environment, it just wasn't for me. I think a lot of people love it, but it just wasn't going to work for me. I think that was the main point where I thought, I think I'm going to take my apprenticeship that I've been offered, so yeah. So with your higher education at university, you get your degree at the end, or that's what I felt you would get. Whereas the route I've taken, I've got so many more qualifications, so many more skills than I would ever have got at university. So for me, it was a really good option. Like now I can do so much more things than just my day job, and it's going to lead me to a lot more than what just having a degree would have. So, and it's free, so. I knew I wanted to be within the chemistry field. I wasn't sure what was out there, so there was a lot of support within sixth form for me. I felt that the organised work experience for me, so I got to go and see in industry what chemistry was like and what an analyst does on the day-to-day, so that was a really good help. Like work experience in something that you're vaguely interested in, then you can really get that, and you know that you want to go and do that. It's really good. I think the advice I'd give would be probably don't stress so much. If you work hard, that is all you can do. You're doing your best just by working. Don't work flat out, make sure you've got time to relax and time to chill, but work hard and everything else will just fall into place. Like if you work hard, you'll get exactly where you need to be and where you want to be, so that's all you can say really. I think the best thing about my job actually is the opportunities that you're presented with. If you're a hard worker and you're motivated, you get so much to do, and it's endless. Like I do cost assessments, risk assessments, and they're not typical of an analyst, but you can go and do them if you really want to, and you can sort of see a path of where you want to go, and every day you're getting something else to do and your improvements. And I'm part of, like, we have working groups where I work, so I'm on the chemical one, so I'm constantly improving chemical safety. So it's not just going in and doing analysis, there is a lot of other things and a lot of opportunities and a lot of skills to develop while you're there. In 5 years' time, I hope to be a technical band and to be in that sort of team of technical workers. 10 years' time, hopefully leading that team. You never know, hopefully, you can always dream.
All my friends were going to university, so I just thought that's what I would do as well. It was only when we got to sixth form I decided I didn't really want to move away from home, so I started looking at apprenticeships.
So my parents are both involved in the nuclear sector. My dad's at Sellafield and my mum's at James Fisher Nuclear. So they were both supportive of this apprenticeship. They give me a lot of help in my interviews and my application, and they just supported whatever I wanted to do, really. Yeah, there's so many different paths and there's no time limit on things these days for what young people have to do. Like, people don't have to feel pressured to go to university, to go into an apprenticeship. All my friends done different things. Some went to university, some took gap years, some done apprenticeships, so it's all different. There's no set in stone way to do things. The best thing about my apprenticeship is that you can do a job at the same time as getting your degree. So you get that practical experience to back up the theory that you're learning at university. So hopefully I'll finish my apprenticeship this year, stay on with Sellafield, and hopefully I'll be in a project manager's role, and I'll be chartered with the APM hopefully.
I knew that I wanted to go to university, but I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do. So I just looked at courses and I thought journalism might be something that I'd be interested in because I loved writing. Went to UCLan, University of Central Lancashire in Preston, and studied journalism there. But I secured a permanent contract with BBC Radio Cumbria in May this year, and I'll be there for another 12 months. I'll be there until next May. University was, and always probably will be, the best 3 years of my life, I think. I absolutely loved it. I went to being at Preston was far away from home, but not too far that you know, I could come home if I needed to. But I never felt homesick or anything like that, and I really, really enjoyed my time there. The work, I don't think anyone can prepare for the work that you've got to do at uni, but I wouldn't be able to do the job that I'm in now if I hadn't, you know, committed to that work level and really stuck at that. So it really does prepare you for work and life. Yeah, the main thing that I would say is just pick the subjects that you enjoy doing, because I think in many cases like mine, you'll absolutely love the job you're doing. You know, I don't feel like I'm at work. I feel like I'm doing something that I enjoy and I get a lot out of. And I think that's mainly because I've chosen the subjects that I enjoy doing, and it's led me to doing this. I've got the potential to go into TV or different aspects of radio, like presenting as well, which is fantastic. So I know all those options are out there, but things change daily within my job about the roles that I do and things like that. So at the moment, I don't have an idea of where I want to be in 10 years, because within the 2 years that I've been sort of doing media after uni, I didn't even think that I would be here. So I think it just progresses so quickly and you move on so fast that you've just got to focus on doing what you're doing at the minute and do really well at it, I guess, yeah.
Year 12 and 13, we have a range of providers come in to talk to students, university providers, apprenticeship providers. Mrs Tomlinson, who's the student support officer, she offers one-to-one advice and guidance. My advice is research all your options, and that's what we say to students, particularly in year 13, who have to make that decision quite quickly. You know, if you're thinking about uni, look at apprenticeships. If you're thinking about apprenticeships, look at uni. So you've got a wide range of options at the end of year 13. And I think one of the really important things is to do your research. So access career websites. We use something called Unifrog, which is really, really helpful, that Hello Futures have funded for us, and we found that to be really beneficial. So be informed, and that will really help make your decisions clearer.
So Hello Futures was set up in January 2017 by OFS, which is the Office for Students, with the aim of working with young people in certain parts of the country where they are generally attaining well at school or college, but for some reason aren't exploring or accessing level 4 and above courses. So my biggest bit of advice for young people, probably from the age of about 14 and upwards, is really listen to your own gut and what is it that you want to do, because you're about to experience a wave of advice, and it's going to come from your school, your teachers, it's going to come from your mum or dad or carers, it's going to come from your community, from people that you know, it's going to come from friends, and it's going to be quite confusing. So listen to it all, but I want young people to really consider what it is that you want to get out of the rest of your life, really. And if for you that is moving away and studying musical theatre because you know you're going to enjoy it, it's your passion, that's what you want a career in and it's going to make you so happy, go and do that. You should do what you want to do. Really harness that and then go and ask other people advice. So say, this is what I want to do, how can you help me achieve that? So places you can go for good advice on this are our website, which is hellofutures.ac.uk, and we have a wealth of resources on there. There's also other resources available of which we signpost a lot, but young people might want to consider looking at the National Apprenticeships website, UCAS, which is where the majority of university courses are held, the National Careers Service, and other such types of websites which give really good information.